Good afternoon. I'm thrilled to be back at John Jay, where some of you know me as Professor Rosado. But today I'm proud to be here as Governor Cuomo's Secretary of State. Thank you for joining us. Before we get started, I want to acknowledge our distinguished guests who we are happy can join us here today. We have Assemblywoman Linda Rosenthal, Assemblyman David Weprin, John Carrington, who's Chief of Staff for New York District Director, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, Sandra Marisol Cruz, Consul General of El Salvador, Calixto Ortega Sanchez, Consul General of Venezuela, Maria Isabel Nieto, Consul General of Colombia. Now you know why I got to be first. I had to pronounce all these names. Vivian Juarez, Vice Consul General, Mexico. Carlos Martinez, Deputy Consul General, Ecuador. Also, I want to recognize Bill Mulrose, Secretary to the Governor. A very special guest who has been instrumental in this work we're going to talk about today, former Secretary of State Cesar Perales. Alfonso David, Counsel to the Governor. And our host, who's always ready to host us at any time, Jay Hershenson, Senior Vice Chancellor CUNY. We're here today to announce Naturalize New York, a first-in-the-nation public-private partnership that encourages and makes it easier for all eligible immigrant New Yorkers to become U.S. citizens. Through the New York State Office for New Americans and its 27 opportunity centers throughout the state, we will provide assistance to our state's rich immigrant community in a number of ways, from free eligibility screenings to helping them chart out the next steps on their road to U.S. citizenship. We're going to help them with prep. We're going to help them fill out paperwork. And for some who qualify, we will help them cover the cost of the application fee itself. There are many working families for whom the fee is a barrier to applying. We don't believe that citizenship should be a luxury item. So this program will also feature a lottery to cover the cost of federal naturalization application fees for 2,000 low-income immigrants. Thanks to this special partnership between New York State, the Robin Hood Foundation, the New York Community Trust, who are investing $1.25 million in total to empower our state's immigrants. Thanks also to the New York Community Trust specifically for their generosity and their commitment to providing and making New York great. Thanks also to the Robin Hood Foundation, and thanks to the Daily News, who is represented here today by Arthur Brown. Thank you for being here. I also want to thank our academic partners from Stanford University, George Mason University, and the University at Albany for their tireless efforts for implementing and eventually administering the lottery. And why is naturalization important? Simple. There is an economic benefit to helping immigrants become U.S. citizens. Once naturalized, their earnings increase. When they succeed, we all succeed, and our state becomes stronger. We believe in economic opportunities for all New Yorkers. We also do it because it's the right thing to do. This governor has consistently done the right thing for immigrant New Yorkers. So I'm going to tell you who you're going to hear from. Today, you're going to hear from Guillermo Chacon, Chairman of the Board of the New York Immigration Coalition. You're going to hear from Arthur Brown, editorial page editor of the New York Daily News. You're going to hear from State Senator Adriano Espaillat, soon-to-be congressman. And then you're going to hear from our fearless leader. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. How we doing? Are we happy? Again, our governor make history and continue to be a tremendous champion. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Guillermo Chacon. I have the honor to be the chair of the board of New York Immigration Coalition, a membership coalition with members throughout the state. And greetings from Steve Choi, who's on travel right now, our executive director. New York is the greatest place. And I believe the most diverse in the universe, I will say. And as we are here today in New York City, who's the melting pot of the world, basically, where immigrants of all backgrounds come together to achieve the American dream. But right now, the dream is difficult to reach by many, many hard-working immigrant families. And I believe New York, and New York State especially, is a beacon of hope, an opportunity for so many. And that door sometimes for that opportunity is very narrow for so many immigrants, hardworking immigrants. And again, a very important path to achieve the American dream is citizenship. Governor Andrew Cuomo has worked so hard to reverse the trend and open that narrow door for so many hardworking immigrants, families. And today, we're making history by opening the state-level immigrant offices for new immigrants. That was an important achievement in his administration. And I believe that many, many legislation also to crack down those that try to commit and abuse hardworking immigrants throughout the state. The governor also has been an important leader to support hardworking immigrant families. As Attorney General, during his term in the past, he fought so hard to rescue over $23 million that was taken away for hardworking immigrants in the state. Last year, Governor Cuomo announced also a new task force to end workers' exploitation. And again, it's another important commitment to bring relief to hardworking immigrants. Also, the nail salon industry enforcement task force to ensure that all employees are treated fairly and business owners understand their rights and responsibilities. To date, New York State is building on those important achievements in the past. Today, by providing a free screening, application assistance, as our Secretary of State, Roxana Rosada, shared with us, preparation for the citizenship exam, as well creating an innovative lottery system for 2,000 potential applicants to cover their high price to apply for citizenship. Again, New York is the leading nation, again, in showing by example how important is expand on those promises to open that opportunities of hope and for all immigrants in our state. At the time when so many are seeking to put a negative label to all immigrants and try to divide us, this initiative will be an important response, a proactive response to empower hardworking immigrants. New York, again, is a proud state that embraces all immigrants, and we are so happy to join the governor, all the members of the New York Immigration and the board each board member of the New York Immigration say, muchas gracias. Thank you so much, Governor, for your championship.
Good afternoon. My name is Arthur Brown. I'm the editorial page editor of the New York Daily News, and I am deeply honored to be here, and the paper feels deeply privileged to have been invited to participate in Governor Cuomo's effort to help immigrants achieve citizenship. From the paper's very founding in the early part of the 20th century, the Daily News has served an immigrant readership because New York has always been a city of immigrants. And the immigrants have been the working and middle class backbone of New York, and they have been the backbone of the Daily News readership. And we take our obligation to them quite seriously, to inform, to help acculturate, and to make lives a little bit better if we can. Since 2004, the Daily News, in partnership with CUNY, has participated in the Citizenship Now program. It's absolutely fantastic. There are call-in lines. Since 2004, more than 150,000 people have called seeking help with becoming citizens. And it's been our great pleasure to help them as much as we can with information. Now the governor has enabled us to participate in taking the next step, which is to close the circle for a good number of people who need assistance. And they do need help. The immigration system is a nightmare. It's very difficult to navigate. It's also ridiculously expensive. Why are there fees to become citizens? Only because Congress refuses to appropriate money for the immigration system and places the burden on the backs of the people who want to become Americans. This is wrong. This program will do what it can to help a group as much as they can be helped. It's not easy. $680, I think, is the fee, is a great deal of money for people who are working in low-wage jobs, who have families, who may have double-earning families. There's not a lot of time. They have children in school. They have lots to take care of. So where they can be helped, they should be helped. And that's what the glory of this program promises. So what is the Daily News going to do? We are going to do our part to make sure that New Yorkers know that they have this opportunity to participate, to get help, and to be selected if they are lucky enough. So I thank the governor for inviting the Daily News to participate in this, and I congratulate everyone who has contributed time and the money to make this happen, because it will set an example for the United States of America that is incredibly important in these times. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I am Senator Adriano Espaillat. It is my pleasure to be here today and to be with the great governor of the state of New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo. From passing the $15 minimum wage fight to pay family leave, our governor has worked tirelessly to help restore economic justice for hardworking men and women and make our communities stronger. He's also been a longtime friend of the immigrant community. With this first-of-its-kind program, the governor is building on his efforts to expand opportunities for those who came here in search of a brighter future. I was born in Santiago de los Caballeros in the Dominican Republic. I came to the United States with my family on a visitor's visa when I was 9 years old. We overstayed that visa. Our family worked hard to help us get an education so that we could succeed and begin to move forward. But the process was always challenging. As a student, I sat in the back of the classroom for over 2 years, not knowing a word of English or what was being said. But like many immigrants, I worked hard to get ahead. Through the determination and perseverance, I graduated from Queens College in CUNY, And the president of this university gave me my first job right out of college in the criminal justice field. And so I am deeply rooted right here in the CUNY experience. Then I went on to become the first Dominican American elected to a state legislature in the entire United States. So this is living proof that the American dream is still alive, and where many during this harsh time of intolerance and harsh words have placed the bet that it was dead. There came the Chinese community from Flushing, Queens, Chinatown, and Brooklyn, and gave it mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. And when others felt that the American dream was down for the count, there came the Mexicans who now live in El Barrio and in Brooklyn and in Queens, and gave it a life-saving blood transfusion. And when others really were sure that the dream would be denied to all of us, there came the Dominicans in Washington Heights, who may not live in the east side of Manhattan, or may not have the privilege to have a fat bank account, who may not be part of Soho Tribeca with the avant-garde artist community, but that sit on a hill, right, Governor, on a hill called Washington Heights. And on a bad day, even on our worst day, we could take a look on that hill and look south and see that lady standing there in the harbor. And she tells us every day, even on the worst day, give me your tired, give me your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free. I lift my lamp at the golden door. So this is what immigrants do for America. This is what immigrants have done for the city of immigrants and for this nation of immigrants. So the Naturalize New York program is making important strides in bringing opportunities to new Americans who wish to fulfill their dreams like I did. I'm on a different route now, Governor. I'm going to warmer climate down south. And so I hope to be a fighter for those immigrants. And and hope to be an important part of the diverse social and economic fabric of New York, that I am proud of what this state is doing under Governor Cuomo to help new Americans get the support that they need. Today we will continue to tear down the barriers to naturalization. When I first became a naturalized U.S. citizen, I tell many students that come to me on a daily basis, what does it feel like? What are the privileges, the rights? One of them is the obvious right to vote. I said, you get a rush when you cast that first vote. I happened to cast that first vote for a little-known guy in New York State called Governor Mario Cuomo when I first became a naturalized citizen. So now I am privileged. This is truly an American story. I am privileged to introduce to you the great governor of the state of New York, Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What a great day. What a great message. What a great accomplishment. I'm so happy and so proud to be here. First, to be at John Jay, to be at CUNY, which is such a part of this story. It is such a part of the immigrant tradition of New York and the mobility strategy of New York. So let's give John Jay and CUNY a round of applause for hosting us today. To Rosanna Rosado, our great Secretary of State. Thank you, Madam Secretary of State. Guillermo Chacon was a great advocate. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Let's give him a round of applause. Adriano Espaillat. Did he say he was senator or congressman? Do you remember what he said? It is so fitting that New York is going to send a proven leader, a proven advocate, first Dominican elected to a state legislature, now to become a congressman in the United States of America, our Dominican, our friend, our New Yorker, Adriano Espaillat. To Arthur Brown and the Daily News, we thank them for being here. They have been part of this story for many, many years. As Mr. Brown said, they take seriously the immigrant tradition of New York, and they have been a powerful voice in helping facilitate that. Their Citizen Now program, which is the first of its kind, has been extraordinary, and then helping us with this effort publicize the path to citizenship for all its difficulty. They'll also be selecting the 2,000 winners by this lottery. So the Daily News will be making the selection, and that's good because then we'll know that it is a fair selection. If the 2,000 people selected happen to all be Daily News subscribers, then we'll wonder. Other than that, we want to thank them very much for their participation. Let's give the Daily News and Arthur Brown a round of applause. And to all the partners who made this possible, to Robin Hood and Community Trust, to Stanford, the University of Albany, George Mason, and the Daily News. Let's give them all a round of applause. Everything has been said. This is a natural. You have about 1 million people in the state of New York, 1 million people who could be citizens, who have a green card, and who are citizen eligible. Just think about that. Think about how it would change the state, change the complexion of the state. 1 million people added to the 18 million people who are now citizens in the state of New York. About 600,000 of those people are in New York City. The senator said it very well. Citizenship brings benefits. Citizens tend to get better jobs. On average, their income goes up about 10%. It's easier to get a loan when you're a citizen. It's easier to get credit when you're a citizen. So home ownership goes up when you become a citizen. As the wages go up, it's good for government. There's more taxes paid. When people become citizens, they actually receive fewer public benefits, which is better for all taxpayers. They become more independent. And they become more vested in the community and in the state and in society. And the vote, the right to vote, is part of that. So it makes sense on every level for people who can to pursue citizenship. Then why don't they do it? Because it is very, very hard to do. It's not that easy. You don't raise your hand and say, okay, I'm now eligible, I want to become a citizen. Some would argue that it is purposely made difficult because there are some factions that would like to discourage people from becoming citizens. You add 1 million citizens to the voting rolls in this state, that's a significant, significant difference. You do that nationwide, it's a significant difference. So if you have your conspiracy hat on, you'd say some people would say they have purposely kept it difficult to become a citizen. It's legally challenging, it's academically challenging, you have to take a test, and it is expensive. $680. That is a lot of money. And for a family just trying to make ends meet, well, I'd like to be a citizen, that would be nice, but $680, that is real. Now, I agree with what Mr. Brown said. There should be no fee to become a citizen. There should be no fee. It should be part of what this country represents and who this country is. If you qualify and if you take the test and if you pass the test, there should be no fee. You've done everything you need to do. There's not an economic hurdle. Give me your poor. Didn't say, give me your poor who can afford a $680 citizenship. It said, give me your poor. It's counterintuitive to exactly who we said we were and what we were trying to do. Unfortunately, that is the law. If I had my way, it would be free. If I had my way, the state would subsidize every eligible application, period. because it would be an investment for this state that would pay dividends. This partnership makes that point. 2,000 lottery winners will have it paid, making the point that it should be paid and it should be free. And that's what the 2000 lottery is all about. We wish it could be 100%. But we're making that point with this lottery, and hopefully year after year, we get more people to participate, who contribute more money, and that number increases. It's not just the fee, it's also legally challenging. You have to fill out very complicated applications. You have to determine eligibility. So help with universities, help with legal clinics that can help you work your way through it, help with schools who can help people get ready for tests. That is all part of this program. Facilitating citizenship for people who are eligible. Long overdue. It doesn't accomplish everything, but it makes the right point. It establishes the right principles, and it sets us on the road to citizenship for thousands and thousands of people. And I believe it will encourage thousands more. So I'm very excited about it, and I want to thank all our partners again. It is also, as you heard from Rosanna and Guillermo, consistent with what we have been doing from day one. This is a function of the Office of New Americans. What is that, the Office of New Americans? It is something that was set up 5 years ago by a pioneer and a genius by the name of Cesar Perales, who was Secretary of State. And it was 5 years ago. It was 5 years ago. It was not this year, not this month. It was not in this political climate. It was 5 years ago. And Office of New Americans said, New York is about new Americans. It's Senator Espaillat's point. We are all about renewal through immigration. That is the New York philosophy. That is the New York story. So the New York state government has a role in creating an office called the Office of New Americans to facilitate that citizenship process, that welcoming process, that inclusion process, that matriculation process. We believe in it as a governmental role because it's who we are as Americans, and even more, it's who we are as New Yorkers. That is the New York philosophy. That is the New York story. That's why today, when you hear the political rhetoric that's going on, that is looking to scapegoat immigration as the problem, we say, no, it's the exact opposite. Immigration is our strength. That is our renewal. That is our core. That is our essence. That is our fabric. That's who we are. I am an immigrant. My father was an immigrant. He came from an immigrant. Who is not an immigrant? Only a Native American is not an immigrant. Everybody else is an immigrant. And we are proud of it. And we're at this moment in this country where we have real problems. And we do have real problems. We have economic issues, economic inequality, economic anxiety, disparity in our education system, racial issues. We have real problems as a nation. And some would like to scapegoat all of that by finding a simple answer, which is, well, it's the differences among us, and trying to sell that fear and sell that division. New Yorkers know it's the exact opposite. The differences among us, the diversity is not a weakness, it is a strength. That is what made us who we were. New York is the laboratory of the American experiment in democracy. This country said we're going to have a new premise, never tried before. We're not about one race, we're not about one religion, we're about one promise. You come here, you work with us, we will make you part of the family of New York. That is the American philosophy. That is the New York philosophy. And we live it, we feel it, we breathe it, probably more than any other state. Maybe it's because we are the welcome mat to the nation. This is where the ships came in. Maybe it's because we have the Statue of Liberty in our harbor as a constant reminder of who we are and what we represent. Maybe it's because in this density, you can't separate. You can't separate. We are all together, we are all one on a very small piece of land, and we figured out how to make it work. And we know that you can't build walls between us. That is not an option. That you have to find ways to focus on the commonality. You don't build walls, you build bridges between people. And that's what we've done from our inception. As you heard from the Daily News, it was always a newspaper for immigrants because it was a town of immigrants. And maybe the complexion changes, maybe the religion changes, maybe the accent changes, but the lesson stays the same. Welcome to this beautiful state of New York. We welcome you, we don't judge you, and we will affirmatively work to include you on the path to citizenship and the path to success, because the better you do, the better we all do. Because we believe at the end of the day, somos uno, we are all one. We're one community, we're one fabric. When one is raised, we're all raised. One is lowered, we're all lowered. That's the New York way. And that New York way is even more important to hold dear today. When this nation, at a time of anxiety, is struggling to find out who it is and what path to follow, New York says, follow the path forward, which is the path that the state of New York has always shown to work. Thank you to the partners. Let's sign the partnership agreement, and God bless all of you for being here today.
Nice to see you. Good to see you.
Guys, hold right here. Assembly member? No, hold this way, this way, this way. We're on deck. Okay. Not yet. Right here.